It was barely a month since I settled into my new townhouse, a sharp, modern spot perched on the edge of a gated community just outside Phoenix, Arizona. The place was perfect, two parking spots right out front, a cozy patio for my morning espresso, and best of all, I own it outright. No landlords, no leases, and no HOA breathing down my neck. I checked the paperwork twice. The first few weeks were bliss. I unpacked, hung a heavy bag in the garage for my workouts, and started tinkering with the backyard. Then I met her, Diane Harper, all sharp blonde bob and yoga leggings that hadn't stretched in years, striding over like she was the mayor of a town nobody elected her to run. She caught me hauling in a new grill and sized me up like I was smuggling contraband. "You're Ethan, right? The new guy." Her voice was sweet, but it had an edge, like a knife dipped in honey. I nodded, keeping it friendly. "Yeah, just settling in." She flashed a tight smile. "We like things neat around here. Orderly." I gave her a quick good to know and went back to my boxes, thinking that was the end of it. Spoiler, it wasn't. A few days later, I pulled into my driveway to find Diane standing there, arms folded, staring at my pickup like it had personally insulted her. "You got two spots?" she asked, already knowing the answer. "Yup, came with the house," I said, popping the tailgate. She glanced at her own driveway, where her massive SUV hogged space next to a beat-up sedan. "I was thinking you might not need both. You're single, right? My family could use the extra." I almost laughed, thinking she was kidding. "I do need them," I told her. "Friends, clients, gym buddies, they come over a lot." "Both spots are mine, Diane." She didn't flinch, just sighed like I was a kid who didn't get the rules. "You'll learn how things work here, Ethan." That's when it hit me. This wasn't a neighbor asking a favor. This was a shakedown. The next morning, her husband, Greg Harper, made his grand entrance. Picture a guy in cargo shorts and a faded army cap, built like he could bench press a fridge but mad at the world for existing. He shot me a look as I parked, the kind that says trouble's coming and it's got your name on it. Later, I found a crumpled note in my mailbox, no letterhead. No signature, just a poorly typed claim that the HOA was reviewing parking allocations. I showed it to my lawyer pal, Mike, over wings that night. He snorted. "This is HOA cosplay. She's got no power in a bad printer." Then the weird stuff started. Someone walked a dog way too close to my lawn every night. Trash bags appear by my bins, stuff I didn't throw out. Neighbors who used to nod now gave me side-eye, like I'd kicked their cat. Diane wasn't just nosy, she was playing chess, trying to freeze me out. She didn't know who she was messing with. I clawed my way up from the rough side of Phoenix, won boxing titles, and built a fitness chain from nothing but grit and sweat. I could handle her suburban power trip, but I could tell she was writing a script, and I was the VY lane. The real drama kicked off one Monday. I stepped outside, coffee in hand, ready to hit my gym, and there was Diane's giant SUV parked smack in the middle of my second spot, like it had planted a flag. I stood there, sipping my brew, waiting for her to pop out with some excuse. Nada. Her house was locked up tight, blinds drawn like a bunker. I called a tow truck. 20 minutes later, her car was gone. By afternoon, she was out front in a neon tracksuit, filming me with her phone, spitting venom. "You stole my car. That's illegal." I unlocked my door, cool as ice. "It's called trespassing, Diane. Check the deed, page 3. She stormed off. That night, someone keyed my truck deep, angry scratches down the sides, with "back off" scrawled in red spray paint across the hood. It was so bold, so stupid, I almost admired it. Almost. I didn't call the cops yet. I snapped photos, filed a report, and set up security cameras front, back, even one tucked in a planter by the fence. A few days later, a typed note appeared in my door. "Your actions are being watched. This is a family neighborhood." I added it to my growing file of Diane's greatest hits. Mike was practically cackling now. "Man, this is a reality show waiting to happen." Then came the fake letter, dropped in my mailbox like a bad prank. It claimed the HOA was taking my second spot for a family in need. No logo, no date, just ink smudges and crooked text. Mike's response? "Amateur hour." I VY cited the real HOA office and learned Diane wasn't even on the board, just a loud volunteer who bullied her way into influence. The The neighborhood VYB shifted. Conversations died when I walked by. Doors shut faster. Even a mail carrier gave me a weird look, like I was hiding a bomb. Diane was working the crowd, and they were buying it. Fine. I'd been the underdog before. That was my comfort zone. But she didn't stop at petty games. She went for my gym. One morning, the state licensing board called about an anonymous complaint. Unsafe conditions, sketchy owner, illegal fight training. They mentioned my pasta bar fight at 19, a dumb kid with fast fists and a felony assault charge that cost me 2 years inside. I'd rebuilt my life from that low, turning a second chance into a chain of gyms that mentored kids like I used to be. Nobody here knew that story. Nobody but Diane. Then the flyers hit. Taped to mailboxes, stuffed in doors, plastered on streetlights. Do you know your neighbor? My gym headshot was front and center, with court records cherry-picked to scream danger. They call me a threat, said my gym endangered kids. Signed, concerned residents. I knew who wrote it. My phone lit up, some neighbors checked in, worried. Others fished for dirt. I didn't crack. Instead, I posted online, laying it all bare, the fight that broke me, the years in lockup, how boxing pulled me back, how I built a life helping kids dodge the mistakes I made. I didn't name Diane. I didn't need to. The post went viral, racking up thousands of shares. The tide turned. A mom down the street, Sarah, left cookies on my porch with a note. Don't let the haters win. My boys look up to you. An old guy, Tom, grumbled. She's been terrorizing folks for years. You're the wrong guy to pick. Not everyone was on my side. Some neighbors avoided me, like I was contagious. Diane had planted fear, but it was starting to backfire. One Saturday, I stepped onto my patio, coffee steaming, ready for a quick gym session. Then I saw him, Greg Harper, marching up my driveway like a bull with a grudge. Built like a tank, eyes cold, reeking of last night's bourbon. I set my mug down. Morning, I said flat. He got in my face, breath hot. You think you're hot stuff, huh? Slandering my wife, making her a laughingstock. There it was, Diane's final play. My post had hit her where it hurt, and she'd sent her muscle to settle the score. She did that herself, I said, steady. I just told the truth. He shoved me, hard, the kind of push that begs for a fight. I didn't move. Touch me again, and you're not walking away, I warned. He swung a wild, sloppy haymaker. I slipped it smooth as silk and let my right hook fly. It landed with a crack that bounced off the houses, clean and sharp. Greg's jaw twisted, legs folded, and he crashed into Diane's perfect rose bushes out cold. Neighbors' phones were out in seconds, filming like it was a cage match. Diane burst from her house, robe flapping, screaming, "He's a monster! Call the cops." I stepped back, hands down. "Check my porch cam first," I told the crowd. Police rolled up fast. I handed over the footage. Greg shoved, his swing, my one-punch reply. The officer watched, stone-faced. Diane ranted, demanding my arrest. Greg groaned in the dirt, trying to sit up. "You pressing charges?" the cop asked me. "Not yet," I said. "Just keep it on file." I grabbed my coffee, sipped it cold on the porch, and watched Diane's meltdown like it was Oscar-worthy. That night, I locked up my gym, the last class done, when I saw it glass shattered across the sidewalk, a brick in the lobby, wrapped with a note, "Heroes fall too." My blood boiled. This wasn't just vandalism. It was personal. I called Mike. "She's gone too far. I'm suing." He didn't blink. "We're going nuclear harassment, defamation, vandalism, the works." Earlier that day, a neighbor, Walt, a grizzled vet most folks ignored, had dropped by with a flash drive. "I'm done with her tearing people down," he said. The VY-Deo was gold. Diane in her backyard, pacing, barking at Greg. "Push him till he snaps. Make him look unhinged. He'll leave. They always do." It was a conspiracy, plain and simple. Monday, Mike filed the suit against Diane, Greg, and 3 cronies. The HOA secretary who spread the fake letter, a neighbor who lied to code enforcement, and the flyer printer. The story blew up. Local news ran my gym security footage under headlines like "Boxing Champ Sues Neighborhood Bullies." Diane's blurred face was the talk of Phoenix. My phone buzzed with support clients, friends, even neighbors who'd stayed quiet. 2 days later, a detective called. "We're investigating conspiracy, vandalism, and false reports based on your neighbor's VY Deo. The HOA secretary was already suspended. Diane had overplayed her hand, and the walls were closing in. The trial was electric. Reporters camped outside the courthouse. Neighbors loitered like it was a block party. I walked in suit sharp, face calm. Diane strutted like she was on a catwalk, pearls gleaming, Greg shuffling behind her, looking like he hadn't slept in weeks. Their lawyers tried to spin her as a saint rattled by a dangerous new guy, dragging my past into it like it proved I was the problem. Mike shut it down, cool and lethal. Ethan doesn't hide his past, he said. He's built a life from it, mentoring kids, running a business. What we're here for is the defendant's campaign of lies and destruction. The VY Denke was a slaughter. My porch cam showed Greg's attack. Walt's VY Deo caught Diane's plotting. Forensics tied the flyer tape to a roll in her garage. The fake HOA letter, debunked by the real HOA president. A flash drive from her office held draft flyers with her edits. When Mike played my social media post, my voice filled the room. I don't run from who I was. I fought back, built a life, and I won't let Diane Harper destroy it over a parking spot. The gallery went quiet. Even the judge leaned in. Diane cracked on the stand. Mike hit her with her own words, "Push him till he breaks." She snapped, yelling, "He's a criminal. He attacked Greg." Mike just asked, "Who sent Greg to confront him?" Her silence screamed guilt. The verdict landed like a knockout. Diane, guilty of defamation, harassment, and fraud. Greg, guilty of assault and probation violation. The secretary and 2 others, complicit in the lies. I got Dula $110,000 plus costs. Diane got a suspended sentence and a restraining order. Greg got 2 years, cuffed right there. The click of those cuffs was music. 6 months later, the neighborhood was new. The Harper's house sat empty, lawn wild, a for sale sign sagging like it knew it was hopeless. The HOA got real leadership, even through a barbecue. I used the settlement to start the Steel Grit Youth Program, free boxing for teens, all sweat, discipline, and real talk. One kid, 12-year-old Caleb, shy but tough, started showing up. His mom, once Diane's gossip buddy, now runs my gym's front desk. She brought brownies one day, eyes down. I backed the wrong side. "I'm sorry." I nodded, let it go. One night, Caleb lingered after class. "Coach, did you really drop a guy in one punch?" I grinned. "A really dumb guy, yeah." He laughed, eyes bright, and ran off with the others. I stood in the ring, the gym alive with thuds and chatter. On the wall, I'd framed Diane's flyer, right next to a plaque, "Strength, respect, limits." Without them, you're just noise. Victory isn't always a belt or a headline. Sometimes it's a kid throwing a jab instead of fit. Sometimes it's quiet. So what do you think? Was I too harsh? Or did Diane and Greg get what they deserved? Should neighbors mind their own business? Or is community control worth fighting for? Would you have thrown that punch or walked away? Drop your take below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more real-life showdowns. Let's hear it.